Welcome. It is good to be back. It is good to be back. I'm glad y'all are here. We got a little interesting week. We got some money that we can make. I'm going to release the lock of the week. So if you're in the Patreon, you're going to get the lock of the week today. I figure why not? I'm also going to I finished watching the tape for Clark F.A. Apache. So I'm gonna send that over today. That's a pretty interesting fight. So I'm gonna release that video today. So you'll get that, and if you're a Patreon, you'll get the lock of the week today too. I mean, why wait till I usually do it Thursday, but why wait? I already know what I'm locking up. The odds are out. If you're not a Patreon, guys, join the Patreon. Link is in the description. It's also in that little ticket below. Just $5 a month. It gets you all the locks. It gets you the lock of the week. It gets you the updated props. It gets you asked to book you anything. You can request a video. You can do anything of the variety. I'll get you the best, absolute best gambling advice in the sport of boxing. Guys, roll on into the chat. I gotta take care of one stupid thing first, which I always forget to take care of. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. If you got any questions, anything like that, put it in the chat. I just gotta take care of one thing real quick. Done. All right. Yo, Muscles, my man. We're gonna get into a good. We got some good locks for you. World of Wrestling. By the way, Gary, would you say we should avoid? Who would you say we should avoid betting on? And World of Wrestling. Quick question for you before I answer that. There is no UFC this week, right? So there's no mixed parlay bets today. Here's what. Let's answer that, and I'll go through this. Cannon Adams. Always avoid Cannon Adams. I know this is a sexy fight. I know people like Brendan Adams. Brendan Adams won the Contender a few years back, and then he started getting big fights. He's not particularly good. 24-3. He lost to Jamal Charlo, and then he lost to Apollo Thompson in 2015. This is a dangerous fight. I really don't know who wins this fight. I would lay off this fight. I kind of want to throw some money on Vernon at plus 115. If he was more like plus 150, I would probably do it. I would lay off of that. This is an interesting fight too. I would lay off of that, and I'd probably lay off the women's fight too. I'm going to try to do a video on the women's fight, on the Ginny Fuchs fight. This is a really interesting fight. Katsaraskis and Robert Terry. These are two interesting fights. Yo, honestly, at minus 230, Katsaraskis, it's probably a good fight. That's probably a good bet. I was going to say lay off this, but at minus 230, that's not terrible odds. I don't think much of Robert Terry. This might be the bet you want to take. I would lay off this fight altogether. Elijah Pierce is a great bet to add to your parlay. That brings down the odds on anything. I don't know these guys much at all. I just don't know these guys. I'm laying off this. I'm not touching that at all. Fabian Rojo definitely going to win. You can ease your parlay a little bit with that. This is not worth it. Eduardo Nunez minus 6,000. That's not going to do anything for you. Adelaide Ruiz and Ginny Fuchs. Again, I don't think this is worth the risk. Ruiz is too big of a favorite, and Fuchs doesn't pay enough. If I was going to bet on this, I'm going to try to do a video on this. Ginny Fuchs was a Olympian, deep amateur pedigree, not much of a professional resume. She's from Houston. I know her pretty well. She's already 36. Just 3 professional fights, like I said, and she hasn't fought since last year. It's been a year. It's been over a year since she fought. She last fought on the Regis Pro Grade card. That was in New Orleans. I'm losing my brain. Who did Regis Pro Grade fight in? Danielita Zaria. And then we have Adalia Ruiz. This is an interesting fight too. Like, Fuchs has 3 fights, and she hasn't fought in a year, and she's fighting for a world title. She's got the amateur pedigree. She could win, but that's probably something you want to lay off. I'm going to do the video on that. I'm going to start watching the film on that after this. I'm going to start watching the film on that tonight. I'm going to do a video on that, but I would probably advise you to lay off that. What's up, Vulcan? My man, Vulcan. World of Wrestling in the house. The only thing that was available for UFC was the Contender Series, which I got all 3 bets to cash. Bang! World of Wrestling. Muscle Brown. Me and Vulcan hit a UFC parlay last night. Nice. You guys, if you took my bet of my parlay of I am losing my brain. Nikita Tszyu money line, and then the Pomp and Connor Wallace fight to go the distance. You hit that too, by the way. I was wrong, and I don't know if any of y'all saw the fight. Very close fight, very competitive. It went to Connor Wallace. I didn't see that coming. So I missed on that standalone bet, but what I really liked was that fight to go the distance, and it did. This was an IBF eliminator for the number 2 spot. Pampalone, I thought would. Did anyone in the chat see the fight? Did anyone see the Pampalone fight? What did you guys think of the scorecards? Were you guys? I don't think it was outrageous or anything like that. Like, it was probably reasonable. DWCS parlay, plus money parlay, and a plus money boxing parlay too. Bang, Vulcan. Yesterday was a fun one for sure. Good fights. Yes, Vulcan. I bet on them as single bets in case one doesn't. What did you bet on World of Wrestling? On the UFC? You're talking about you bet on the 3 UFC fights? What easiest bets this week? All right, good, Octo. I'm glad you asked that question. Let's take a look. This is working like garbage today. Katsarikis, I like a lot. I like that bet. Elijah Pierce, I like that bet. That's a nice little parlay that you can make some money on. Fabian Rojo, easy money bet. Something I like a lot, besides Pacheco on the ridiculous odds, Pacheco by stoppage. I was talking to Muscles on this. Pacheco by stoppage is minus 450. I like Pacheco by stoppage. Look, Soliski is completely shot, and he was never that good to start with. Like, he built up this resume, like this name for himself, because he beat Hugo Centennial in 2016. Who is that? Hugo Centennial? So what? Soliski is a nice fighter. He's basic. He's got some decent skills. He's fundamentally okay. He's got no power. He's got no speed. There's just nothing world-class about him. And he's 35 or 36. He's completely aged. He's completely shot. There's just nothing. There's like, can he survive? That's it. The only question is, can he survive? I think we're going to pull that up too. Soliski is so shot. So for the Soliski fight, what I would say is, for your parlay, just put Pacheco on the money line. For a standalone bet, Pacheco by stoppage is not a bad bet. Or if you want to do a plus money parlay, Pacheco money line, not a bad bet. Pacheco stoppage, not a bad bet. It's not. I told Muscles privately. I said I think Pacheco minus 450 by stoppage is good. The only reason why I think it's that low is because Salisky's never been stopped before. If you watch Salisky's last fight, which was in New York, and Daily Motion, it's in Queens, but it was broadcast on some Polish streaming service. It was televised on a stream in Poland. He fought Rowdy Legend Montgomery. He probably lost. Honestly, he got the decision, but he probably lost to this guy. I want to show this to you guys. You can get the stream of the fight. Salisky, last fight, probably got outboxed by this guy. 50-50 fight. I thought Rowdy won. Obviously, Salisky, the money fighter, got the decision. He got the decision 94-95, and then 96, 93, 96, 93. Yeah. I'm not sure he won that fight. Then before that, he beat a guy. Let me help Salisky. Salisky fought another guy, Angel Hernandez, 19-21-1. And then a 17-15-1 fighter. That's who he's fought since the Andre beatdown. Like, there's no reason that Salisky's going to do anything. It'd be competitive in this fight at all. Like, I see no reason to think that. I know he's a name. I get that he's a name, but who has he ever beaten? Look at this resume from Salisky. Since the Andre loss, Gabe Rosado. Okay. Fine. He got knocked down in that fight a couple times. Dilly got stopped. He won a decision. He outboxed Gabe Rosado. Lost to Danny Jacobs. Jack Qualcay's trash. Hugo Centennial. That's it. That's the only reasonable name. The next best name is Greg Prochazka. That's the second best name he's beaten. Prochazka. Back in 2014. Literally a decade ago. And then in 2016, right? He beat Hugo Centennial. That's it. That's all he's got. That's his resume. And like, for some reason, this guy kept getting big money fights. He kept getting all this love and respect. And Hugo Centennial. And Salisky is one of the most underrated fighters. No, he's not. He's never done anything. No UFC this week, guys. Yeah. So no mixed parlays this week. No mixed parlays. Muscles wants to know. Muscles, he wants to fight. You didn't get this. Yeah, Zoo got a 9th round stoppage. Zoo got 9th round stoppage. So if we, I thought you didn't place that bet. You didn't place the to Zoo by stoppage, and then the Conor Wallace fight to go the distance. You didn't place that bet, Muscles. Damn it, Muscles. It was easy money. What up, Nate? I guess. This guy, Conor Wallace, this is going to be a hard sell on me. I was wrong. He got a decision. It wasn't bogus. It was reasonable. He beat Pamplione. I can live with the decision, even though I thought Pamplione probably eked that. It was very, very, very close. I'm not impressed at all with Conor Wallace. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a hard sell on me. If you want me to think that Conor Wallace is good, I don't see it. Maybe I'm being a hater. I don't know. I meant to watch the Nikita Zoo fight, Pamplione fights, but missed it. So, yeah, Nikita Zoo scored a 9th round stoppage. Pretty good performance. Looks like a decent prospect. Pamplione and Wallace was a really interesting fight, very close fight, very 50-50, where they gave Wallace, I don't want to say Wallace got a 50-50 split decision over Pamplione. Very, very close, very, very competitive fight. So the odds makers were right. It was that I favor Pamplione. I don't see any. I still don't see anything in Conor Wallace. I remember having a talk with Joe DeGuardia a bunch of years ago about Maurice Hooker when Maurice Hooker had a 140-pound belt, and Arnie Verbeek was Maurice Hooker's manager at the time. And he took Hooker all over the country, getting him on small cards, trying to get him signed. And I remember talking to DeGuardia. I was telling DeGuardia that Hooker is, really good. And DeGuardia took one look at it and was like, hard pass. Nah. So, all right. So when Hooker won a world title, I went up to DeGuardia and said, bet you wish you could have Hooker back now. And he said, Gary, I still don't think he's any good. That's kind of how I feel about Conor Wallace. Like, I don't think he's any good. I understand he won and he's doing more than I thought he would. I don't think Conor Wallace is any good at all. Best underdog this week. Ginny Fuchs. I know I've been giving you guys dogs. I would have said Pamplione. Best underdog this week. There's not much. Ginny Fuchs is the best one. I'm not sure she's going to hit. Yeah, I'm not sure she's going to hit. If any underdog is going to hit, it's Ginny Fuchs, and she's only a plus 120. So that's the best underdog of the week. Bro, I got bets that I'm going to lock for week 1 of the NFL. Lock it up. What do you like on Saturday? Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to do that video. Those are the last 2 videos I'm going to do. I'm going to do the chicks, and I'm going to do Cardenas. Where's Cardenas? I'm serious. Arturo Cardenas. I definitely like Cardenas on the money line. Minus 360. I think that's an easy money bet. I think that's a great bet to kind of build your parlay around. Like, take that and then throw in a couple of easy fights. Wide odds, bring that down a little bit. I think that's your best bet for a lock. But I'm a Arturo Cardenas guy. I've been impressed with him so far. Robert Garcia fighter. Nice looking prospect. I would definitely take Arturo Cardenas on that. Minus 360 is not terrible either. He's definitely going to win that fight. So, yeah, I like Arturo Cardenas. I think that's a good bet. Cardenas at minus 360 is a terrific bet. It's a great bet to be the foundation of your parlay. Do you think the Pacheco fight no. So if you just put a gun to my head and say, Gary, how does this fight end? I say Pacheco 7 or 8. And that's where you are. I guess gun to my head, I take the over, but I wouldn't bet either on that. 7 or 8 is exactly where I think this fight's going to go. So if you feel comfortable with that, take the over. I would lay off that. No, we'll run through it again, Gary Austin. You're a Patreon. You get whatever you want, my man. Give me 1 minute. Let me just get through these other 2, and I'll get to you in a minute. Damn, I waited too late to place on Zoo, but DraftKings took the fight off before I could. Yeah, we would have hit on that one, Muscles. I hit on it. And I want to give an assist to Muscles, right? Because I was going to bet Pamplione money line and Zoo stoppage. All right, that was going to be my 2-bet parlay. And I said to Muscles, but I like the over. I definitely like the over. And Muscle goes, well, why don't you just bet the over for that fight to go the distance and for Zoo to win by stoppage? I was like, oh, yeah, that's a better bet. I'm going to do that. And that one hit where Pamplione didn't get the decision, so that would have missed. But so assist to Muscles on that one. Kane Sandoval. That's Friday, right? When is Ramiro Duno minus 1100? He's definitely going to win. Now, you guys see these kind of bets are tough to me because he's minus 1100 against the real opponent. Like he's going to beat Duno for sure. But like, is minus 1100? Is there a big enough reward in that to bet on it? And that's why I didn't like the Zhu fight unless you're going to take him by stoppage. Do I have props on this? Do I think he knocked? No, I don't think he knocks out. No, I have no props on anyway. Is Rocket in the chat, or does anyone have props? Does anyone have a prop bet? What are the odds for Cain Sandoval and Ramiro Duno to go the distance? I don't bet on Brandon Adams fights. I would say unless you get a prop, and I still wouldn't bet on that. I'm laying off this fight. Like, so I think there's like two possibilities. Francisco Viron by stoppage, Brandon Adams by points. Like, and I think they're both 50-50. I think there's a 50% chance Adams gets knocked out, and I think there's a 50% chance that Adams wins a decision. I can't decide. And neither of them are good. So I don't know, Muscles. Lay off that fight. That's a tricky bet right there. There's like I'd rather on the same odds, I'd rather you just take Ginny Fuchs. Like if you want a plus money standalone bet, like if you want an underdog, a slight underdog who pays positive money, I would feel a lot more confident taking Ginny Fuchs than Viron. Even though I don't like Viron, like I said, Viron could win. It's 50-50. But the odds aren't sexy enough for me to risk it when I think there's a better standalone bet. That pays actually slightly better. I would not bet on Brandon Adams at minus 150. I wouldn't bet on that. I'm not saying it's not going to hit. I think there's a 50-50 chance it could hit. But at a 50% chance, you're being paid minus 150. So I'd rather bet Viron to win. But I'm not really confident enough to suggest that. Cain by points is plus 210. Filipinos are tough as hell, guys. Ramiro Duno is tough as hell. Give me 1 second. Let me let my dog in real quick. Cain by stoppage minus 200 and bets 265. I don't like that. I don't like Cain by stoppage minus 200. As Cain has moved up, as Cain's fought better fighters, he's gone the distance. I like Cain by points plus 210. I like that. I do. I like Cain by points plus 210. I would lean towards that. I think that's the best bet to make money on a standalone bet for that fight. Your Cain on the money line is not going to make you any money. Cain by stoppage, he couldn't stop Molina, and then he couldn't stop Angel Rebellar. I understand before that he stopped everyone, but look at the guys he's fighting. He's fighting inexperienced guys. I like the fight to go the distance. I would say Cain by points. I think the fight goes the distance. The other one, is there a prop? Do you have a prop for Elijah Pierce? He's been knocking everyone out. Like, I kind of like Elijah Pierce by stoppage. You get a prop on that. I like that. That's a bet I would look at, Elijah Pierce by stoppage. Let me recap this for y'all, and then I'm gonna wrap it up unless you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. So just one last time, and tomorrow we're gonna do the prop bets. We're gonna get into the props. Kasarakis, I like minus 230. Brandon Adams and Francisco Viron, I would lay off. If a gun to my head, I had to make a bet, I'd probably take Viron at plus 115 because it's a 50-50 fight. I don't like Adams for only minus 150. I don't feel confident on that fight. Elijah Pierce at minus 800. If I can find a prop for Elijah Pierce by stoppage, I probably like that too. I'm laying off this fight. I'm laying off that fight. I'm definitely laying off these guys. Ginny Fuchs, if you want plus money, if you want a plus money bet, I'm not telling you this is going to hit. I like this. I like the chances that she can get a bogus decision. She's an Eddie Hearn fighter. It's an Eddie Hearn card. She's more of a sell. She's an Olympian. She's got a fan base. She trains in Houston with Bobby Benton. She's the one. Eddie Jermaine Ortiz is a close personal friend of mine, so I'm just gonna not. He's a kid from San Antonio. I've covered his whole career. I work with promoters with Eddie Ortiz to get him fights. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on this fight. Toro Cardenas, I love that at minus 360. I think that's a terrific bet. Kane Sandoval, I like to win on the money line as part of a prop. But I would say, Pierce by stoppage at minus 110. Pierce by stoppage, I like a lot at minus 110. Yeah. I think that's a great bet. Chevon Clark by the stop. I ain't got a prop for that either, my man. I like Pierce by stoppage. And then the last thing is Chevon Clark via KO is the play. I think so too. I don't have a prop for it though. Do you guys have a prop for that? I don't have anything for it. All I have is a money line bet, and he's plus, and Clark is minus 1,000. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna get going. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. We'll work out some parlays. We'll calculate different parlays. There's no plus money parlay tomorrow because there's no UFC on. But if you have no last minute questions, comments, thoughts, nothing like that. I'm gonna wrap this up. Clark by KO is plus 130. Sal, that's the Chevon Clark odds? Yeah. Sal with the tip of the day. Sal coming in hot with the tip of the day. Clark plus 130 by stoppage. He's going to stop F.A. Apache. I agree. And I'm going to drop that. So that's a great segue for me to wrap this up. Check out my video, and I will drop tonight. You can check it in the morning because it's going to be out late tonight. Chevon Clark, F.A. Apache. I'm going to drop that video from Texas to the world. Thank you. And God bless.